the MG Show. The show is about to start. Buckle up, 'cause here we go!
What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, welcome. It is Monday. Wow, you go away for the weekend and all hell breaks loose, but we are loving it right now. And I just want to just kind of do a victory lap to all the fake MAGA that's out there on X right now. This is just in. President Trump has significantly higher in-party support versus Bush and Obama term 2, a whopping 87% and rising. And that's despite getting zero credit from the media and fake MAGA on anything, guys. Shady Groove, welcome. What do you think of this?
I think that this is exactly what it is that you and I signed up for and what it is that we as a team, and I mean we as a team, this group of people, this is not a broadcast. This is a group of people that have navigated the biggest, unbelievable psychological operation against America to divide and destroy America ever perpetrated against her. And we are sitting here today on the other side of it because the rubber has met the road, sir. And this weekend has proven this show exactly right 100% of the time, pretty much, because what you just showed is the truth. No matter how many videos these idiots make screaming at you and telling you how MAGA is dead. You know what is dead? InfoWars is dead, sir.
Yeah, you were saying that, didn't Alex Jones recently come out and say he's no longer supporting President Trump? Did that happen?
That has happened, sir. Now he has pivoted the whole network that they can now be in congruency with the Flynn cult horde.
FlynnFoWars, we call that.
The FlynnFo War Horde. The Flynn Ho Award.
Yeah. You know, I was like, there's been a lot of panic from General Flynn, and a lot of people, just so you know, this show has a chink in its armor, Shady Groove. And that chink in the armor is supporting General Michael Flynn.
With vigor.
With vigor. And we apologize for that. When we realize we're wrong, we tell you we're wrong. But let me just go over this post real quick, Shady, because I think President Trump directly responded to this, okay?
This is a great post, by the way, to sum it up.
But General Flynn, you rode President Trump's coattails to a pardon, made millions off MAGA base, then spent 4 years telling us trust the plan and 5D chess, which Q has never said, by the way. Now that he's winning without you, your post-black pill surrender terms like there's no 5D chess being played, everyone needs to understand that what you see is what you get. Meanwhile, the president of the United States is dropping Q memes all night. Weak, disloyal, embarrassing. President Trump is draining the swamp that you were part of. Sit this one out, Mike. Real America First warriors don't cry on X when the boss proves them wrong. And this is what he posted. Look at this. So 5 times August, who I just unfollowed. At what point do you stop saying he's keeping his enemies close, bruh, and admit your enemies are just all like his buddies? So look at, like, they're like these. So look at this. So and then he says there's no 5D chess being played. Everyone needs to understand that what you see is what you get. And I even said, that's got to be a negative post, right? So I even asked Grok, and Grok even though he got the names wrong, but I asked Grok to summarize this and let me know if this is pro-Trump or anti-Trump. Okay. And it shows a post of Trump smiling and posting with, all these other people. So Bill Gates is in there, but not Nancy. So some of it is wrong. Okay. But General Mike Flynn directly replies, there is no 5D chess being played. Everyone needs to understand that what you see is what you get. The tone and implication is strongly anti-Trump, or at very least extremely black-pilled on Trump. Flynn, a major MAGA figure in 2016 to 2020, is publicly signaling that the old trust the plan 4D chess narrative is dead, that Trump is not secretly outmaneuvering these people, and that cozy photos with establishment figures reflect reality. In other words, Trump is part of the same club, or at minimum not draining any swamp. In short, Flynn just dropped a tactical nuke on the remaining. Trump is playing 5D chess with the uniparty. Cope. Hard anti-nuke pill, not pro-Trump, guys, not pro-Trump. And, everybody's like, well, he wants it both ways. He loves Q. No, General Flynn invoked a Q saying, but he hates Q. You cannot have it both ways, Shady. Let me just play this for you.
There's a goddamn plan that QAnon has. They better get it up and operating because, I'm not even sure I want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, actually, because I just think I'm that irritated by people still believing in this bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say that I think that a lot of people, they don't,
Yeah. Now, and then we, evidence of Michael Flynn's shift against President Trump. Grok even noted that it started right after the election in 2024. There's a lot of different things here that Grok went over. Gaslighting. He's gaslighting you. And let's just realize that there is a post here where let's go over the post that that your president dropped. Shady Grove. Shady. Let me get him out here real quick, because I think this is direct communications to those people, Shady Groove. Like, remember the oath, okay?
You're holding me back like a rubber band here.
Remember this, Shady? I'm holding you back.
I know.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all.
God bless America.
God bless America.
So using Q, and then asked about Q. Here's my take on Q. I believe it's a major psyop, and from what I can tell, or they or whatever or whoever is running this op has done a major disservice. What I see is a bunch of people sitting and waiting for something to happen instead of doing what I've been calling for quite some time: local action. This nonsense about Trump is still the president and the military is coming to rescue is just that. Now, I agree with that statement, guys, okay? But you're the one that started that narrative. I wasn't Flynn did. I wasn't belittling Dave. He's a big boy. I was being brutally honest. Like it or not, believe it or not, Rome is burning. Nero and the bucket brigade is getting low on water. And like it or not, I don't. We have a person in the White House. Is there following the constitutional process? Note, I didn't say fair election, which I don't believe occurred. Lastly, I so respect your smart statement, blah, blah, blah. But basically, he's calling Q a psychological operation for the bad, Shady. Disservice.
And we are getting ready to show you something quite different that Donald Trump just posted last night that Jeff is going to have coming up right after I tell you, do you see now? Do you see now? Whenever he says, when you see what Flynn said in that video that he just showed, this is the reason that we archived this stuff the way that we did, and that we made these videos about this nonsense the way that we did, so that the future could be proving past about how dumb this stuff really is for people to see, because we realize that whenever people are fooled by things, they start to see what's really going on, and they all of a sudden pivot and pretend like they weren't fooled at all, and they knew what was going on all along. That's what's going on currently right now. When you see Flynn say that right there, the people still believing this BS He's not referencing Q. He's referencing Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that. To me, there is 0.0 that was made sure that I understood there was 0.0 separation between Q and Trump. 0.0 separation between. So when someone says to me, "You believe in this bullshit," they're talking about Trump. You don't believe in Trump. You don't believe that he could do what he could do. We told you that's what he was saying then, and now he's telling you that there's no quote unquote plan. Well, if there's no plan, then how come Donald Trump is the current president? If there's no plan, then how come everything that he is doing is exactly like he explained to us he was going to right the ship of America and put us back on a course that was going to arc toward the good of in humanity as opposed to arcing towards the destruction of humanity? That's the only thing that's different. The one path that we were on was the path to be destroyed, the extinctionalist, globalist path. We are now on the opposite path, and the extinctionalists made lots of bets on the extinction path, and now they're very, very, very upset.
I mean, it's panic mode, guys. It's really panic mode from InfoWars, the digital soldiers, which I am not a part of. I am a keyboard warrior or a band of Anons. I'm part of that, not the digital soldiers. And I'm not a fight back Lynn Wood person either. Now, look, so Trump, Flynn posted that yesterday. So Trump, meanwhile, reinforces Q again, guys.
This is last night.
Last night at 7:45 p.m. Let's read it, okay? Like a Q post. Nothing can stop what is coming. Time to obliterate the deep state. Do it, Q. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. Remember your oath, okay? Whose oath, Shady?
Whose oath?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you talking to there?
Which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I think it's direct comms to Flynn, Shady.
I 100% agree with that reality, sir, because we know that right now is the moment that they're all turning. Marjorie Taylor Greene has now quit. She quit over the weekend. So she literally, this just happens to be the moment that she's leaving is the moment that she gets her forever pension from being in Congress. Understand that, literally to the month. The reason that she chose to leave when she chose to leave, this lady has made $25 million in the last couple of years being up there in Congress and did not do anything whatsoever since Donald Trump has been elected to help him. She's done nothing but go over to the InfoWars camp and sit down and act like she's like part of their team. And then they have now cooperated with her to go on The View, to go on CNN and attack MAGA. Wow.
Yeah.
How interesting.
And I was alerted by Stacey Burke that the Flynn people were doing her security. Okay.
Ding.
So by calling Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor, thereby utilizing Flynn's network of security, pretty interesting, Shady, huh?
Pretty interesting because that network of security had specific direct encounters with Stacey as well as a number of other people. And as a matter of fact, that Flynn security is one of the reasons that we were on to Flynn well before the book War by Other Means. We just didn't really have a way to explain it yet.
Right. That's right. And friendly reminder, 66 gorillion shills cannot stop what is coming. Do you guys understand? Press 17 if you guys understand.
The right meme's good.
I like that one, right?
That's a great meme because it's actually more than, I think it's 66 quadrillion.
6'7".
6'7".
Wow, guys. All right. So, I mean, they don't know what's coming and they are panicking, guys. Look at all those 17s, guys. Look at them all.
I like what you just said. What'd you say? They don't know what is coming.
They don't know what is coming.
They don't know what is coming. Their little skits and their little things, and you're going to make fun of it. They all think they're playing Trump. But it's very interesting, Jeff, because I know that we didn't get to play this J.D. Vance interview, and I've spoken about this a time or two, but I just want to mention it right now. J.D. Vance said something that was very interesting in that interview. He said something like, Donald Trump nobody gets anything over on Donald Trump. He said, nobody gets anything. He sees everything. That's what JD Vance said. So, they're trying to make you think the network is trying to make you think that Donald Trump is like he's being hidden away and tucked in the corner by the people that are protecting him. And that's what other presidents have done. Donald Trump has been the most available, transparent president you could ever imagine. He's in front of the press literally almost every single day, guys, and letting them ask him questions. I bet we don't get too many more dumb Brian Glenn questions, Jeff.
Oh, boy. And, I want to also let you guys know that Rumble is allowing a lot of these anti-Trump people to, like Viva Frey, for example, a guy that allegedly is from Canada, even though he's all Mr. Flynn and anti-Trump now, Rumble. You guys realize that?
Yep. All of Rumble. Of Rumble is now this. And so now we're getting ready to see what these people do. What are you nuts going to do? You're going to sit here and pretend like Flynn is not being anti-Trump and still say Q? Cag Drogo, and all you Rambo and Friends people that are out there playing both sides of the middle, acting like you're somehow pro Flynn and like talking about like Q's message, and while you're surreptitiously attacking Trump over Charlie Kirk and Israel. We see it, man. I mean, it's like we see it so clearly. The post Alex Jones responded to me was the post where I said that the same people that funded InfoWars funded Epstein. Alex Jones responded to me this weekend and told me to prove it, whereas I went ahead and did so.
Mm-hmm. And I got my chair and I was, get him, Shady.
I said, on it.
And, I posted this on November 21, and I don't think people are understanding what this really means. Worth remembering, Shady Groove. Earl G. Matthews, General Counsel of the Department of War, Shady Groove, okay? Look at that guy. He followed us on X, okay? He knows what's up. He was a January 6th whistleblower calling out Charles Flynn, okay? Who was on the ground? General Flynn, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers? Interesting, no? So I want to just point you to this because this was very interesting, Shady. And I think we played some of this on Friday's show, but let's do it again because Trump does suggest the Secretary of War, Hegseth, is using military courts to investigate Democrats who called for military sedition and a coup, okay? That was a traitorous statement, and I know they're looking into it militarily, Shady.
I just want to jump in right here when you say this, because this is a very important thing to talk to your ridiculous friends that are out there that have told you that Gitmo has already happened. Okay, the reason that they've been telling you this narrative, like, oh, there's all this stuff that's going on, and these people are gone, and all their this is 2.0 and all that nonsense. The reason they did all that was to obfuscate the future reality for whenever we did do it. You see, we are so that whenever it did happen, it would have less significance. And then people will say, oh, that's already happened. It's just now, they're just now showing it to you. All of that is nonsense. If your mind is in that realm and if you're believing that stuff, please unplug for a second and reconsider your position, because all of this stuff that you've been seeing has been to weaken Donald Trump and to weaken his administration and to weaken what we call law and order. They've been attempting to weaken law and order in America the whole time. And now that Donald Trump is here to implement it, they want you to continue with the belief that there's no such thing. They want you to continue with the belief that things can't get any better. America can't be rid of criminals. If America is rid of criminals, the CIA can't sell you drugs. Do you understand that? If you get rid of the criminals in America, the CIA can no longer sell your children drugs. I think people need to hear that.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. I have somebody in here that's all pro Dave. Go be with Dave X22 with this hyperbolic BS,
Devolution.
Ooh, devolution is real.
Oh, I just did the sea lion noise. Damn it.
Boy. All right. So meanwhile, Trump is posting about military tribunals, Shady Groove.
I know. The real ones.
The real ones. All right, here we go. Check it out.
Is really bad and the dangerous to our country. The words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors, and you want to say punishable by death. So people thought that you were saying death to those politicians. What were you saying?
Well, if you look at sedition, if you look at that type of, that's a very strong form of being a traitor. It's a terrible thing to say. I must tell you, I heard it, and I thought it was some kind of a comedy situation. I thought it was some kind of a skit. And because I couldn't believe that they'd say it. And I watched Democrat congressman and one Democrat senator yesterday on one of the shows. Didn't even want to discuss it. They said, whoa, don't get me into that one. They didn't want to get into it. That is a really serious charge. I'll tell you what they said is, and it was, I mean, I don't know about the modern day things because, modern day is a lot softer. But in the old days, if you said a thing like that, that was punishable by death.
Yeah, but you're not threatening them. A lot of people are interpreting there's a threat and there's security.
Well, I'm not threatening them, but I think they're in serious trouble. I would say they're in serious trouble. I'm not threatening death, but I think they're in serious trouble. In the old days, it was death.
Do you worry, Mr.
That was
President?
seditious behavior.
Do you worry
that was a big deal.
Do you worry
Today, nothing's a big deal. Today's a different world. Okay, it's a softer, it's a meeker, milder world. But I will say this: I think what they did is really bad. The hatred is pretty strong. But what they say, essentially, don't follow the orders of the President of the United States to the military.
Do you worry that some of your guys are going to say no?
Young privates and young corporals and young sergeants, and they're not scholars necessarily. There might be a few, frankly, but they're not scholars. They don't, study the Constitution, et cetera, et cetera. They know that. So these are bad people. These are people that, in my opinion, broke the law. Now, what happens to them, I can't tell you, but they broke the law. That is a terrible statement. I can say if I ever said that and there were a Democrat as president, all hell would have broken loose. And it has broken loose. I have had more calls from people, even Democrats, saying what a horrible thing that was.
So do you worry that someone on the Gerald R. Ford will say, hey, I don't want to do this Venezuelan mission. I don't want to sit out in the ocean. I'm out. Do you worry about them saying, I don't want to go to Chicago and be in the National Guard? I'm out. Do you worry about that?
No, I don't worry about anything like that because I'm a leader and they do as I say. But it certainly is not a good situation. It could happen with certain leaders. It could happen. I don't think that happened with me, but you never know. Look, that was a very terrible. That was a traitorous statement. That was a horrible thing to do. I believe they broke the law very strongly. I think it's a very serious violation of the law. Yeah.
I know Todd Blanche seems to be looking into it. Your assistant deputy, or your
well,
deputy
I think
attorney.
Pete Hegseth is looking into it too.
We don't need Todd Blanche.
They're looking into it militarily. I don't know for a fact, but I think the military is looking into it. The military courts.
Mr. President, this week.
Military courts.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, it's just a very interesting moment that we find ourselves in whenever, you align yourself with what is good and right. You end up on the side of things that are good and right. And rule of law is the most good and rightest that we could ever be. And by the book is the most good and rightest we could ever be. We could never do it any better. To understand what has been going on and to take all of this nonsense out of this and to step one by one each day as it comes through this to get to the point that we are here this is astonishing that we are here right now 1 year in with Donald Trump having unfolded this particular aspect of reality that we're currently experiencing for the last decade to the degree that he is getting ready to collect the center of America. I know a lot of people in the center voted for Donald Trump in 2024 because they were like, I'm not voting for that crazy witch. So they voted for Donald Trump and they gave him a chance. All of these people right now don't realize that what is happening. The IRS literally has announced the outline of how you're going to fill out your taxes next year and how to claim your right, the things you can write off, and how you can also not pay your taxes on tips, not pay taxes on overtime. All of those things have been outlined.
Yep.
So the more you work next year, the more you're going to realize that you're making more money. The 2026 midterms is what they are aiming for. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene is aiming for. And that's what InfoWars and Flynn Network are aiming for. That's the goal, to weaken him before the midterms. Trump is working to strengthen himself before the midterms. And we can see the trend line is going toward Trump pretty heavy.
It is. Somebody saying that they're worried about the Insurrection Act. I don't think they are. When Trump is asked about the Insurrection Act, he kind of shies away from it. And if you understand what January 6th was, that's what the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers were promised by Roger Stone to do the violence to make MAGA look bad, that the Insurrection Act would be signed. So be careful.
Yeah, and the reality is that we don't necessarily need to utilize the Insurrection Act because right now Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief, and they even though they're trying to subvert him, they are not able to subvert him. So he, like what Jeff was just showing you, there was a very specific reason he was putting up Mr. Colonel Earl Matthews' picture there so that you could see it, because that is the lead attorney at the Department of the Defense. Like, that would be the person who decides whether or not this person can be prosecuted for sedition. That's the reason Jeff was showing you that picture. That person that was part of this show last year and the buildup and part of going after the Flynn Network with this show is now sitting there in the birdie seat, being able to decide who is and who is not eligible for military court.
So let's look at this shit. The Department of War put out a statement 39 minutes ago, official statement. The Department of War has received serious allegations of misconduct against Captain Mark Kelly, U.S. Navy retired, in accordance with the Uniform Code of Military Justice 10 U.S.C. 688 and other applicable regulations. A thorough review of these allegations has been initiated to determine further actions, which may include recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures. This matter will be handled in compliance with the military law, ensuring due process and impartiality. Further official comments will be limited to preserve the integrity of the proceedings. The Department of War reminds all individuals that military retirees remains subject to the UCMJ for applicable offenses and federal laws such as 18 USC 2387 sedition prohibit actions intended for the interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order of the discipline of the armed forces. Any violations will be addressed through appropriate legal channels. All service members are reminded that they have a legal obligation under UCMJ to obey lawful orders and that orders are presumed to be lawful. A service member's personal philosophy does not justify or excuse the disobedience of an otherwise lawful order. Shady. It's heating up.
Dude, you need to read that second paragraph again. Did you catch the significance of that?
The Department of War reminds all individuals that military retirees remain subject to the UCMJ for applicable offenses. And federal laws such as 18 USC 2837 prohibit actions intended to interfere with the loyalty, morale, or good order and discipline of the armed forces. Any violations will be addressed through appropriate legal channels.
Buckle TF up.
Yeah, they have no idea what's coming. And I think they have an idea now, Shady.
I think that those retirees, that fresh retiree might not go so well, Charlie Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
That retiree might not go so well, Raiklan or Flynn.
And all of the military operators they used in January 6th?
Yeah, that they tried to say were feds.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the whole thing. The psyop is trying to make you think that January 6th was a Fed operation. It was not. January 6th was a military operation. Military was in charge. Military was the head of the chain of command, and the feds were under the chain of command, not over it.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what's coming. You want to talk? We're talking about sedition. We're talking about sedition right now by some people that use their dumb little words on TV. What about the people that actually initiated a riot in the Capitol on the behalf of MAGA that were really infiltrating us from the United States military?
Yeah. Wow, guys.
You're talking about the United States military initiating the riot on January 6th, guys. I'm not joking when I say this.
I know. And I'm sure Q 12 drops about sedition. Wow, sedition. I'm sure that they didn't mention the actual, 28 U.S. Oh, shoot. Here it is right here.
They did.
Wow. And it's called 18 U.S. Chapter 15, Treason, Sedition, and Subversive Activities. Wow, guys.
No wonder the class is so prepared here, sir.
Internal civil war, all-out assault against duly elected president of the United States. We have never experienced anything like this in our history. Treason and sedition at the highest levels of office throughout many departments, foreign and domestic. Propaganda arm, fake news media of the Democrat Party in full attack mode, no facts, only statements. Propaganda arm, fake news media of the Democrat Party prevent, limit, sheep you from learning the truth. Propaganda arm, fake news media of the Democrat Party retain control of the narrative, control over you. House Democrats in full attack mode, no facts, only statements. Senate Democrats in full attack mode, no facts, no only statements. This is their last stand. Fear of prosecution, fear of public learning the truth, fear of losing power, bribes, blackmail, threats, etc., all being deployed. We are at war, Shady.
The power. Why are they calling Trump a king? Because they're afraid of his power. They're trying to make everybody think that what you're getting ready to see or the antics of a king. What you're getting ready to see are not the antics of a king. What you're getting ready to see are the antics of law and order. You're getting ready to see the antics of by the book. You're getting ready to see the antics of criminal nut jobs getting prosecuted all throughout the spectrum of the whole network.
Remember this. Remember when Q asked us, was Mueller a Marine? So look at this. What was the investigation ongoing to retain the blockade to essentially restrict POTUS from unmasking and informing the public as to the truth about about what really happened? Was the investigation, the Mueller investigation, kept ongoing to protect those who knowingly committed treason, sedition? No blockade equals game over, Shady.
No blockade means right now. That statement, no blockade means game over. Where's the blockade, young friends? Where are the Cheneys in Congress? Where are the yappers out there in the media that have no Russia story anymore? No impeachment anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have nothing.
Yep. And I did a thread on sedition and treason, and we went over that on, was it Friday, Shady? Or we
went over that on like Wednesday, like right at the beginning of this.
From 2019 time frame, guys.
The moment that these nut jobs made that video, we told you it was treason or sedition before Trump even told you.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it like literally within minutes.
Like, nobody else even cared about it until Trump said it.
Right.
But we knew that that's what they had done. And we also understand that this is the way that you show people what it means to obey the law, guys. Yeah. There's no reason that anybody's going to obey the law if nobody enforces the law. And every single one of us has grown up with this example of like, nobody really can figure out like, you have to obey the law, but nobody else seems to be having to obey the law. That's a problem. The people that are wearing the shirts and the collars and the nice clothing, well, they're supposed to obey the law too.
Yeah. The credibility of our institutions and constitutional law that governs our great land, our republic, and our ability to regain the trust and faith of the American people all depends on our ability to restore equal justice under the law by prosecuting those responsible. Blind justice. Treasonous acts, sedition, against the republic, the people of the United States, lead in, infiltration, rogue at the highest levels of our government, media, corps, etc. Planned and coordinated, domestic and foreign. This is not about politics. Something far more sinister, evil, has been allowed to flourish through all parts of our society. It has been protected and safeguarded. It has been camouflaged to appear as trusted. It has been projected, normalized by the stars, class 1 through 99. One must only look to see. Symbolism will be their downfall. This is not another 4-year election. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. You are not alone. We stand together, Shady.
What post date was that? What was the date on that one that you were just reading?
4/10/20.
Oh, that's interesting to know. Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow, that was the date of the. Okay, that's interesting. So, by what you just read right there, now to me, it looks like that Trump just threatened seditious penalties and court martials for the people who committed sedition. Did that happen? Yes or no?
High up in our government, yes.
And he just literally came out and said that was sedition. These people should be prosecuted. Okay, so then you're telling me you've got a post from 5 years ago that describes sedition perfectly, explains the consequences of sedition, and tells us that there's going to be people in the future that are going to commit such sedition. So that we should be ready in case someone mentions the word court-martial them.
Right.
Oh, so interesting that we play at the beginning of this show some numbnut with funky eyebrows that is telling me there's no plan.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? It's almost like somebody's on the outside, or maybe let's say it like this. The people that are inside the zoo aren't really the people that you're supposed to live with, guys. You're just going down to the zoo to like look at them behind the glass.
Yeah. Wow.
They're not part of the real life. It's a zoo. InfoWars is a zoo. Candace Owens is a zoo. Ian Carroll is a zoo. This goober from Canada, Viva Frey. All these views here on Rumble. All this little manipulation of the things that are here up in this little platform that we're crammed into here. This Canadian platform.
Mm. And 11/11, 2018, Shady Grove. We've got the proof. These are placeholders. Indictments tracking civil. Indictments tracking non-civil. Placeholder branch terminations. Placeholder leaks. Placeholder Supreme Court rulings regarding challenges regarding civil, non-civil, civilian, right? So SC rulings regarding U.S. versus defense appeals. Acts of treason plus support articles. Foreign acts pub. Five Eye pub. Okay. FISA pub. OIG report. Umbrella spy targeting. OIG report. Look at this, guys. OIG. Look at this, guys. Placeholders.
This is going to be filled in. Mm-hmm. We understand what these people already did. They already did. Everybody's like losing their minds about all of these, like statute of limitations. Statute of limitations doesn't mean anything when it comes to treason, guys.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations is only relevant to criminal law.
That's
criminal law is like, it has absolutely nothing to do with like committing treason against the state.
That's right.
Nothing.
Indictments tracking non-civilian. Look at this. Set one. Placeholder.
Non-civilian.
Right. And this is non-civilian again. Kevin Kleinsmith, KC, 11-3. Very interesting, guys. Wow, guys. Very interesting epiphanies here that we all had together. Yes. So, this is why people don't like Q. They acted like they like Q. They have 17 or a Q in their name, but they have no idea what Q actually said. And I think Shady Grove, myself, and you guys, the listeners, who show us stuff all the time, are amazing. And I think we're on the right track, guys. And I couldn't be more proud of this show, of standing where I've been standing this whole time. When I realize somebody's actually bad, I call it out, because that's what men do, okay? They admit when they were wrong. Like, I just renamed my Flynn Chink for a chink in the armor, because Flynn was our chink in the armor. So my dog's new name is now Flynn, Chink, Shady.
We're supposed to stand up. We're supposed to stand up for the defenseless.
Chink.
Aren't we supposed to stand up for people who can't defend themselves? Isn't that what we were taught? That's what I was taught. You're supposed to stand up for people that can't defend themselves. But whenever you have a society where the people that can't defend themselves are so pervasive and the people that can defend themselves are so few, the ratio gets reversed. And that's the reason that they've been bringing so many illegal immigrants into America, because the illegal immigrants reduce the ability to react and help someone who's defenseless, because the illegal immigrant, by definition, is already defenseless. They can't own a weapon. If you're an illegal immigrant in America, you're not supposed to have a weapon. So therefore, you can't defend yourself. So therefore, by definition, you are a ward of the state, because we have to defend you. So we're supposed to defend the defenseless, but we have to have defenseless that are real, not defenseless people that are pretend. And that's that's the problem that we've got. We've got defenseless people that are pretend. And listen, we navigated it with you, Jeff. We navigated it. What you said there is very important for this audience to understand. Thank you, Lisa. No one else is talking about this. So thankful that I've been here all along to see this unfold. Thank you, because this is because of you, and I want everybody to know this. There's so many of you, and I'm not going to even begin to name them. There's different epochs and eras of the last 8 years, and there's so many of you like saw what happened and decided that you were going to understand something that was almost ununderstandable. And thank you for doing that, because it takes mental power, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes resolve, it takes staying away from the traps of cynicism and black pillars and people out there that are trying to like derail you and take you out. You have to understand that TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, is real, and it's really real among these people that are pretending to be MAGA the whole time. And this is this is a bit of a victory lap show here.
Wow. I mean, we're always wrong. You're wrong. You're going to lose subscribers. Well, I didn't care, Shady Group. The truth was more important than our subscribers.
We lost a bunch of them. I don't care. We survived with you. People like Lisa right there. That's the way we survive. And, if you guys don't support us, we won't eat.
And John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is my name, too.
It's my name, too, dude. Stop it. I'm trying to claim the Jingleheimer Schmidt name.
It's my name, too. All right. So, yeah, he started dropping those Q memes on 745. It's like, what are they sitting on? Perfect lineup. Why learn Q? I see 744, 745.
And let's just realize who Chief of Communications is, and let's understand that the person who is Chief of Communications is the person who's been put in charge of hiring. And so whenever that person got put in charge of hiring, a bunch of numbnuts started blowing his phone up and saying a bunch of crazy things to him. When then he came out and he said, "Hey, I'm not going to hire you because you didn't support us whenever times were bad and whenever things were bleak. Not going to hire you." And now they start coming out and saying that the whole thing that Trump is doing isn't real. And then all of a sudden, Trump starts posting Q-means. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of fun.
And then
it's
there's been
really fun.
And then everybody's worried about Marjorie Trader Green. She's not MAGA, guys.
Never was.
I mean, apparently not. Okay. We have good intel that she had Flynn's security people all around her. So right then and there, and then you got then you've got President Trump calling her Marjorie Trader Brown. Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Well, it's pretty interesting because of her connections with all of these people and her connections with Thomas Massey and all of these BS Epstein rumors that have been going around. All this stuff has been generated from them. She literally less than 2 weeks ago, Jeff, said in an interview that she didn't really think Trump was serious about sending all these illegals back. Who's going to work for her construction company?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying like that. How is that MAGA? If you have a construction company and you're hiring illegal immigrants and you're that open, like I just can't believe people say the things that they say and they think that they should be allowed to get away with it and no one should notice.
Brian Wood said a judge just dismissed the case against Comey and James allegedly, but that will be so we need to get it out of DC. That will be appealed and that will be going into Florida, guys. Okay, so don't worry about any of that yet.
Oh, that's interesting if that's happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, we knew it was a Democrat judge and was in Virginia, right? So
that is not his only problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. Right. They're going to take some victory laps on this. That's going to be okay.
So let's show the people that are watching the MAGA Minute from your press secretary. This is what your president is doing. Check it out. Ready?
I couldn't love it anymore.
I love it.
All of it.
It was another busy week at the White House. Let's break it all down in the MAGA Minute. President Trump hosted the FIFA 2026 World Cup Task Force to announce a new system to streamline interviews ahead of the event, which is projected to generate more than $30 billion for the U.S. economy. The same economy that added 119,000 jobs in the month of September, more than double the market expectations. President Trump also delivered remarks at the McDonald's Impact Summit, where he reminded you, the American people, that he is the first McDonald's fry cook to be elected president. From the Golden Arches to the Golden Age. President Trump also hosted soccer legend Cristiano Ronaldo at the White House ahead of hosting the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Saudi Arabia agreed to invest nearly $1 trillion into the United States, underscoring our commitment to securing a deal that puts America first. The president also met with freed Israeli hostages and their families, and he met with the mayor-elect of New York, Mamdani. First Lady Melania Trump and the Second Lady Usha Vance spent time this week with military families at Camp Lejeune. This week, the Department of Education took additional action to streamline the bureaucracy at the department and return the power in our education system back to parents, teachers, and families. Also this week, we learned that 0 illegal aliens were released into the United States for the 6th month in a row. That's all for this week's MAGA Minute. As for next week, we wish you a very happy and blessed Thanksgiving.
The MAGA Minute by your press secretary, Caroline Levitt. Shady.
Look at how many psyops we have to endure to actually find information related to Donald Trump. Play me that video. If you look at Twitter or X, you're not going to see anything other than this whole bunch
whining
of weirdos. I mean, just like this Ryan Meta guy, all of these people that are making these dumb videos and screaming at you and saying, and now over the weekend, we started to get some revelations, didn't we? We started to see where some of these people were from. A lot of these people that claimed that they were in Virginia and MAGA turned out that they were in Turkey and Nigeria. And that they, all these accounts that said, oh, well, we're going to be America first. And then all of the Groiper accounts are in Pakistan.
It is really.
So just to let you know, all the Nick Fuentes fans out there that are spreading this racist crap all over the internet, well, they all hail from Pakistan.
That's right. And I'd like to show you mine. This is joined December 2017, account based in the United States. I've been verified since March of 2023 when they allowed me back. One changed name because I had brackets in my name. And I'm connected via the United States App Store, Hillary. I am not a Russian agent.
Nope, but there are a lot of Russian agents out there that Hillary Clinton knows.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Isn't that great? She put me on a list. That's so amazing. I love it.
Yeah, she put you on a list and then sent all the Russian infiltrators in after us.
Yeah. And we got surrounded by them. And a lot of people, I know that you're out there watching and you're not on X. I get it. But what is happening on X, we're surrounded by all of these infiltrators, and I think people are starting to see it now. You've got all these fake narratives going out and, saying that the Department of Homeland Security, it might have been a glitch, but it doesn't say that, was from Israel because of IP address changes. It might have been a glitch or something to that effect. It's so stupid. Guys, the Homeland Security is not affiliated with Israel. Trump is manhandling Israel, and we're saving Israel for last.
But the funny thing is watching the people that pretend like they're paying attention to Q act like that stuff is real. This is really going on. The people are acting like Donald Trump is controlled by Israel 1 second, and the very next second they're posting Q proofs. Yeah. This is the
you can't have it both ways, can you?
Yes, you can. This is MK Ultra. MK Ultra definition is having it both ways, pretending both things are true constantly to confuse the crap out of people. And that's what InfoWars has been doing for decades now. And people's brains are so splintered and so disassociated, no in particular reality or idea has any relevance or association with any other particular idea. Therefore, there's just these little islands of dumb. It's like islands of stupid and out there in the Pacific in your brain, in between your two ears. And you're leaping island to island. You're thinking about this thing. And the next thing you know, you're in the canoe going to another island, but there's no wire that connects any of it.
Yeah, that's right. So Pete Hegseth at 1227 went ahead and reposted the official statement. He's the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. The video made by the seditious six was despicable, reckless, and false, encouraging our warriors to ignore the orders of their commanders undermines every aspect of good order and discipline. Their foolish screed sows doubt and confusion, which only puts our warriors in danger. 5 of the 6 individuals in that video do not fall under Department of War jurisdiction. 1 is CIA, and 4 are members of the military, but not retired, so they are no longer subject to UCMJ-IC. However, Mark Kelly, retired Navy commander, is still subject to UCMJ, and he knows that. As was announced, the department is reviewing his statements and actions, which were addressed directly to all troops while explicitly using his rank and service affiliation, lending the appearance of authority to his words. Kelly's conduct brings discredit upon the armed forces and will be addressed appropriately. Boom, Shady. Wow.
Don't you like seeing this hashed out in public?
Love it.
Isn't this the transparency that we all dreamed of? Talk about it in public. Make the media deal with what's really there as opposed to what it is they want to generate the story to be.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
They can't control the narrative if they can't control the story.
Shay, let me get this one done and out of the way. This is coffee. I love coffee. You need some coffee?
I want some coffee.
You all know I don't start my day without two things: standing for what I believe in and a strong cup of coffee that does the same. That's why I drink Blackout Coffee, 100% American company that's unapologetically patriotic, pro-2A, and anti-woke. They don't just roast incredible coffee. They stand for the very values this country was built on: God, family, and freedom. Every bag roasted right here in Florida and shipped straight to your door. No corporate garbage, no virtue signaling, just real coffee for real Americans. If you're like me and need to hit that ground running, try their Morning Reaper medium roast. It's bold, smooth, and kicks like a mule. Or if you're into something darker like Founding Fathers Dark, grab their 1776 blend. It's rich, fearless, and roasted to perfection. Support a company that actually gives a damn about this country. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/rumble and use code RUMBLE for 20% off your first order. Black Up Coffee. Wake up, stand up, never back down.
Wow. I need some more coffee after that.
I know, right? I need a cup. Cup of
Joe.
A cup of Joe, I tell you. Wow, guys. So much is happening. And you know what? It goes back to the Q post, guys. And I'm proud that I stuck with Q. I'm proud, Shady.
I am too. I'm proud. I'm proud that what we did was stick to the truth. Okay. Yeah. Q wasn't the truth. The truth was the truth. Q pointed to it. Q said, here's a laser pointer. Look under this rock. Look around this corner. Look over this edge. Yeah. If you do those things, you're going to find things that you're not going to believe are there, and do with it what you will, because you're an American and you have a God-given right to use your vocal cords and say it. So anybody out there that can see it, please say it. That's what Q said. And so we decided to say it. And
be loud, be proud, be heard.
And decided to stick with the truth. Like you said, there was 5 or 6 different forces at work after the 2020 election to get this show to pivot away from Q like everyone else did. Everyone else took the advice of those people that were in our ear too, trying to tell us that we were wrong and that you will do better off financially if you stop talking about the stuff that like this, because this stuff is all nonsense. People kept telling us that, and we refused to believe that was true because of what we knew to be true already. And so we stuck to what we knew to be true. That's literally all that we did.
You know, Shady, and I look at being put on a list that Hillary Clinton tweeted out. I'm on that list, right? Of Russian bots, essentially, right? I'm not Russian. I'm not a bot. And then, the Twitter 16 with Angus King put me on a list, a Democrat, of people he wanted off X or Twitter at the time. Then you've got, Media Matters writing 40 plus articles on us, our show, myself. Okay. Obviously, they're worried about us somehow. Then you've got all the digital soldiers clapping back at us, right? I am not a digital soldier. I am a band of anons, okay? I am a keyboard warrior, I guess. I am pro-Donald Trump still, and his numbers are rising. Whether you want to believe it or not, the numbers are there. 87% approval. Unheard of, Shady, and rising.
And it's rising because he's carving out the middle. He's carving out the middle. The people, like I said at the beginning of the show, the people that just voted for Trump because they were like, I'm not voting for Kamala, we'll give this guy a chance. Well, they weren't exactly MAGA. Well, right now, he's currently in the process of making them MAGA. So all of these people that are InfoWars, all this whole InfoWars layer, Roger Stone, General Flynn, all that, think of it like a dead, rotten arm. Okay, so we're going to cut off the dead, rotten arm, and we're going to grow 3 arms back. We're going to be quadra armed in no time, bro.
That's right. Here's somebody here, Maggie. Thank God I found the MG show. I was losing hope with this clown show. That's what they want. They wanted you. They're sowing fear, uncertainty, and doubt, lying, and they slowly turned. And now you can see that they're visibly against Donald J. Trump. People that we thought were our friends, Shady. Isn't that weird?
And they're vicious. The stuff that Candace Owens is saying is vicious.
Yeah.
The stuff that all these people that are repeating her are saying is vicious. It's not just inadvertent. It's not just wrong. It's malice.
Yeah, it is. And what, the 3-star retired lieutenant general is posting is malice. It's wrong. It's inappropriate. It's vicious. And he's butthurt because, so Candace Owens, you mentioned her. She's not in TPUSA right now. So she's butthurt. Okay. I mean, let's just call it, sometimes the simplest answer is the truth. That's why she's going after TPUSA. Okay. let's see, General Michael Flynn was fired in 23 days from Trump's administration for lying.
Yep.
He might be a little butthurt too, right?
Maybe so.
Huh. Who else we got? I mean, there's
Alex Jones is he wishes he'd never voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And then we got Roger Stone saying that he's going to go after his abortionist blank daughter.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole network you're talking about
network.
there. Man, you're just outlining them in like 3 seconds. It's crazy.
Crash Tested says, you guys never steered me wrong. Look, we steered together, right? Like we weren't steering, and we're learning together. And I guess that's, steering the truth, like just trying to figure it out. We didn't become rich off this show, even though we have the numbers to be millionaires, but we're not. Okay. YouTube kicked us off, so we couldn't, get our message out for 5 years, for crying out loud. We're not here for the money. We're not here for the clicks. We're just here for the truth, JD. That's all I want. Nothing more.
Well, I'm telling you, the reality is we're here for the fun. We're here
now
for
it's fun.
We're here for the fun of what Donald Trump is doing for us. Not only is he doing it, he's doing it in a fun way. And these people, they have no fun. If you haven't noticed, it's all doom and gloom. You'll never be able to have fun with these nuts.
And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's at 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
But there is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back in stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to mypillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queens $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
My Pillow is excited to announce they're having their biggest 3-in-1 sale ever, with a limited edition product, a back in stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. My Pillow bed sheets, only $29.88, any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. My Towels are finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first and only time, get their limited edition premium My Pillows made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset. Queens, $17.98. Kings, only $19.98. Also, for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you will receive free shipping plus $100 in free digital gifts. So go to mypillow.com or call 800-873-0478 and use promo code MGSHOW. Use your promo code for the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
Yeah. Yeah. Truth on the mic, no cap, let's go. Flynn networks falling, their lies in tow. From shadows to spotlight, they're crashing down. MG music's calling, who's laughing now? They built an empire on deceit and schemes, fake decodes of Q, shattering dreams. Flynn's crew pushed fear, thought they'd never bleed, but MG's drugs exposed their greed, dropping bars like bombs, truth in every line, ripping through the veil of their grand design. Ex-post fake news, they thought they'd reign, but their own lies fuel their hurricane. Tweeting out chaos, thinking they're sly. Each word's a shovel digging their goodbye. Dividing the people, that was their play. Now MG's rhymes make them fade away. From rallies to screens, they sold a mirage, but truth's in the beat, exposing their dodge. The crowd's waking up, seeing through the haze. Flynn's house of cards in a fiery blaze. Who's laughing now? Truth's ringing loud. Flynn networks crashing, they lost the crowd. Their castles crumbling, tumbling down. MG's on the mic, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Lies don't stick, their own moves burn them. Brick by brick, from top to bottom, losing their crown. Flynn's falling hard, who's laughing now? General Flynn wants the hero, their pride. Now MG's songs show the truth he can't hide. Trust the plan they preach, but it's all a bust. MG's verses turn their dreams to dust. Crowds getting thin, their base starts to crack. Supporters see the scam, ain't no turning back. Infighting backstabs, it's a circus, no doubt. Their networks collapsing, they're canceling out. They thought they'd rule with fear and rage, but MG's music flips the stage. Ex-posts exposed, receipts don't lie. Every fake decodes a new state's high. MG sings of shadows, deals in the dark. How Flynn sold hope, but killed the spark. The world's watching close, their mosque's undone. Truth's the victor, and MG's won. Who's laughing now? Truth ringing loud. Flynn networks crashing, they lost the crowd. Their castles crumbling, tumbling down. MG's on the mic, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Lies don't stick, their own moves burn them. Brick by brick, from top to bottom, losing their crown. Flynn's falling hard, who's laughing now? They blamed the shadows, said foes beware, but MG's tracks show the rot right there. Self-destruction, yo, they lit the fuse. Now their downfall's breaking the news. No deep state plot, no grand disguise. Flynn's their own foe, truth in MG's eyes. Every lie they spun, every bridge they burned, MG's rhymes got the tables turned. Fans wake up, see the grift in the light. MG's music fuels the fight. Networks a ghost town, echoes of cries. Truth cuts deep, shredding their lies. Flynn's name fades, just a whisper of stain. MG's songs and their hustlers reign. People ain't pawns, they're taking it back. Network's done, yo, that's a wrap. Who's laughing now? Truth ringing loud. Flynn Network.
Yeah, baby. We're always wrong until we're right. Who's laughing now? Good talk. Who's laughing now, Shady?
Who is laughing now?
Good talk. Good talk. Wow. That song I wrote, April of 25, April. Okay. So there's the song, guys. If you want it, I went ahead and reposted it on X. If you guys want to listen to that again, or go to suno.com and find In the Matrix with 3 X's. Shady.
Boy, it just life catches up to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. Wow. Valerie, thank you so much for the, I believe it was Cash App. Thank you so much. A $50 donation. Lisa Blair, $50 donation. No one else is talking about this. So thankful. I've been here all this time to see this unfold myself. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Truth Seekers, hashtag, says Sandy Star White, $17 Rumble Rant. And G Brothers gifted a subscription. Really appreciate it.
No, we knew that what was going on here with Donald Trump, like most of us had this sensation or this intuition that there was something that was going on with him that was historic before any of this started. Whenever he came down the escalator in that moment, a lot of people saw the way that he was treated in the media in that moment and completely did not understand any of that stuff that was going on. Before the moment that he came down the escalator, there was almost no bad press out there about Donald Trump, guys. That was a decade ago. That was a decade ago this year. And right now we're sitting here looking at the exposure of everything we knew to be good, everything we knew to be corrupt in the American political system. Nobody actually thought that Donald Trump was going to be like, the person that did the heavy lifting. What we all wanted Donald Trump to do would be the person that actually pointed to the problem in a way that people could realize that the problem was really the problem, instead of pointing at a bunch of things that are not the problem and screaming and yelling at you and telling you that it is the problem, and then exiling you if you disagree with them because it isn't the problem. The problems in America are very, very small and very simple. The problems in America were basically twofold. One, an open border, and two, the dereliction of duty or the non-will to enforce the law. Those two systemic mental things pervasively infected the mindset of the country to virtue signal the opposite. In other words, to think, I want less law enforcement and I want an open border. People who think I want less law enforcement and an open border have been propagandized to the point where they are really not trustable to care what they think. And Donald Trump has given us the strength to ignore them and to move past them. One guy told us one time to step over them, Jeff. The person that we were complaining to that was throwing the people at us was sitting there laughing at us because we were complaining to him about the idea of the way these people are being. Well, those people were his people. And so he said, go ahead and step over them, thinking that we could, knowing that they were going to make that impossible.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Pretty interesting how that all worked out, isn't it?
It's interesting how all of us together are generating what America really is about here.
Yeah.
What Bill Cooper had, like whenever I would tune into Bill Cooper's broadcast, I felt like I was sitting down in front of the television in the living room with a bunch of other people that were learning things together whenever he was on the radio. And the sense of the Q Lounge Live, what I did with that was try to recreate that environment.
That's right. That's right. Sandy Star White, $17 for 17 pages for truth. Thank you so much. I guess 17 Patriots having issues with his card. Support at rumble.com if you want to get that straightened out. Cram, also $5 for 17 pages for truth for a friend. Thank you guys so much. Another thing that they're trying to give him crap about is, wait, real quick, I see another one here. Oh, yeah, Cram did. Okay. What I'm seeing is that they're really upset at the way that Donald Trump was cordial to Mamdani. I mean, what did you guys expect? Shady called it Friday before the meeting that you guys' heads are going to explode when Trump calls him a good guy. It kind of happened, didn't it, Shady?
We'll just rack that up
to another. We're always wrong until we're right.
Yeah.
But I think, if you look at the body language of Mamdani, we're going to watch it here and kind of talk about it together. you'll see that he's kind of the way that Trump is talking to him, he kind of folds up, and then he's like kind of swaying back and forth, bobbing and weaving the questions, going, "What's going on here?" Even Trump answered on his behalf. I mean, guys, it was pretty amazing, guys. I think it was something to watch, and we'll watch it today together. Shady.
Yeah, and I think that the commentary you're going to see from Donald Trump, I want you to pay attention. It's so important to pay attention to what it is that he focuses on whenever he focuses on it, because there's a really interesting reason every time he does it. Like this, you're going to see him focusing on the number of people that were interested in this interview, all the people that are there and all the people that are outside. Why is that? Because every single thing that as news are really communist infiltrators.
Yeah.
They believe in globalism. So they believe in extinctionalism. So this right here, their guy, Mamdani, this is their prize fighter. They just got this dude to be the mayor of New York. He's their freaking Superman, and he walks into kryptonite.
And it's funny is like he says, you don't need, and he's like, more money, more. He's asking for more money to give stuff away for free. Does that make sense?
No.
Ian or Leon, I can't remember, or I'm just going to say it both ways. Ian 11 or Leon 11, much love, $5 Rumble Rant, appreciate you. And Cram got us a subscription to the MG show, appreciate you so much. Lisa Blair, we talked about you. Yes, that was good. Thank you for that $50 Rumble Rant. No one else is talking about this. So thankful. I've been here all along to see this unfold. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Red hair, Sensimilia, lock them up. Bronwyn said that the DOJ is looking at other avenues for the Comey and James case. It's going to be in Florida, guys. Okay. We need to get the case out of DC. And that's what's happening.
Don't worry. Don't worry your little selves out there, because let me tell you, the InfoWars nuts are going to lose their mind about this too. But
thank you very much. We've
I think that this is I'm going to try to make another prediction. I think that the InfoWars people are going to start screaming at you that look what they've done. They've now given James Comey the opportunity to claim double jeopardy. Watch what they do. No, they didn't. Because it was very, very specific what they charged Comey with. They charged him with lying to Congress. They didn't charge him for any of the treason yet.
That's right. All right, so this is President Trump, surprisingly cordial with Zohran. Can't even say Zohran.
This was a class. Mamdani.
Mamdani.
I'm going to tell you and bring you a Mamdani.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
That was bad.
Well, thank you very much. We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices. And the price of oil is coming way down. Anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York. And we've got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have hopefully a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Please.
I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to New Yorkers, the 8.5 million people who call our city their home, who are struggling to afford life in the most expensive city in the United States of America. We spoke about rent, we spoke about groceries, we spoke about utilities, we spoke about the different ways in which people are being pushed out, and I appreciated the time with the president, I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New Yorkers.
Thank you very much. Any questions, please?
President Trump, Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I've got a question for you and then also one for the mayor-elect. For you, you've referred to Mr. Mamdani as a communist. Can you describe why you feel that way? And also, will you do anything to stop him from arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu if he visits New York?
Well, we didn't discuss your second part of the question. And on your first part, I mean, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? I mean, we're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I changed a lot from when I first came to office. It's now quite a while ago. It's quite a while. My first term was great. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're doing even better now. We're doing much better now than we did even the first term. And I can tell you some of my views have changed. And we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he's going to be. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually. And some very liberal people, he won't surprise them because they already like him.
And Mr. Mamdani, it sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of the 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again to what it could look like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting. Maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Mr. President, Anthony Marshak from MTV Lebanon. I would like to ask you a question about the Middle East regarding, you did said that Hezbollah in Lebanon is not in a good position, and Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza and Syria. Given your assessment, like, what do you say for the Lebanese today? It's the Independence Day in Lebanon, and what is your next move to push toward disarmament? The disarmament of Hezbollah.
Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and, frankly, everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now over $20 trillion coming in. No country has ever had anything like that, not even close. If you go to 2 trillion or 1 trillion, it's a lot. We have 20 or $21 trillion. I think that Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have in common. We want to see peace in the Middle East. And we actually have now, for the first time, peace in the Middle East after 3,000 years. And now we're going to refine it. And I think you're going to see some very positive things happen.
There is a potential to invite the Lebanese president to meet you to the White House.
I would do that, absolutely. And if the mayor would like to be here for that meeting, because I know he feels very strongly. I think you feel very, very strongly about peace in the Middle East.
We desperately want it, and that's something that I shared with the president, that when I spoke to New Yorkers who had voted for the president last November on Hillside Avenue and Fordham Road, I asked them why. I heard again and again 2 major reasons. One was that they wanted an end to forever wars. They wanted an end to the taxpayer dollars we had funding violations of human rights, and they wanted to address the cost of living crisis. And I appreciated the chance to discuss both of those things.
You said a lot of my voters actually voted for him, and I'm okay with that. I'll do that. I'll sign it. Give it to me. I'll sign it in a minute. That's pretty good.
Mr. President, you've threatened to send federal troops to New York City. You both have differences when it comes to ICE agents in New York City. Mr. Mamdani, you've called ICE a rogue government entity. I wonder how you reconcile your differences on both of those issues.
Well, I think we're going to work them out. And I think that if we have known murderers and known drug dealers and some very bad people, we want to get them out. And the mayor wants to have peace. We discussed this at great length, actually, maybe more than anything else. He wants to have a safe New York. Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not safe, no matter how well we do with pricing and with anything else, we can talk about anything you want. If you don't have safe streets, it's not going to be a success. So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that if there are horrible people there, we want to get them out. I think he wants to get them out, maybe more than I do. So we'll work together. We discussed it at great length. Yes, please.
Yeah, two questions, if I may. One for you, Mr. President, on BBC in a second. But first of all, for the mayor-elect. You're both from different parts of the political spectrum. You're both populists, though, and I just wonder to what extent the president's campaign style, his techniques, his social media use inspired any part of your campaign.
Well, I actually told the president that, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we asked those New Yorkers who had voted for the president, when we saw an increase in his numbers in New York City, that came back to the same issue: cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And they spoke about the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, the cost of Con Ed, the cost of childcare. And too often politicians are looking to lecture to New Yorkers what they should care about as opposed to listen. And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focused on that same cost of living, and that's where I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
If I may, and I think we have to work a little bit. We talked about Con Edison. We have to work a little bit on getting the prices because, we've gotten fuel prices way down, but it hasn't shown up in Con Edison. And we're going to have to talk to them. If we're sending them fuel at a much lower price than it was a year ago, which is true, we have to get Con Edison to start lowering the rates.
Absolutely.
And if I may, last week you told me you were pushing ahead with your plans to sue the BBC for up to $5 billion. You're going to speak to Prime Minister Starmer as well. Is there any progress or any updates?
Hang on, Jeff, will you pause that a second?
We get along very well with.
I'm just something just occurred to me. I mean, I don't know what just happened. Like I found myself in another dimension or something. It was almost like two politicians were discussing the way that an electric company was railroading the people. And like Donald Trump said, well, we're sending them cheap gas and they're still charging high prices for energy. Why in the world would they be doing that? And then the guy that is the new mayor of New York City, boy, can you imagine ever getting de Blasio to ever capitulate to that point? I'm just saying. Thank you.
The Prime Minister, we made a deal with UK. I like him. He's a fine person. And, I think they have some big energy problems. They've got windmills all over the place. They're going to have to start using other methods because their energy is out of control. Talking about in the UK, it's out of control. And he's got that problem. He's got a big immigration problem, as you know, and he's got a big energy problem. And we talk about it. He's a good man. Prime Minister's a good man.
You have a chance to speak this week.
I haven't spoken this week.
Have you spoken to President Zelensky, or do you intend to meet with him, President Zelensky, about your plan? Are you going to meet with him?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. We have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. Last month they lost 25,000 soldiers. This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. And they're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on. And I think they're getting reasonably close, but I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead, and we worked something out on that, but so many. And the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker, but it does take two to tango. And now you just see all the death. And it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people dead. Really, it's on the other side of the ocean. It's a war that should have never happened. It did happen. I blame the person also sitting right behind this desk. This is a war that should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened if I were president. But we're trying to save a lot of lives. They're losing 25. Think of that, 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian. And it's a shame.
What happens if President? I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Condemn socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist. And your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you also about this Ukraine plan. President Zelensky said today that his country would risk either giving up a partner or giving up its dignity. There's been criticism that this deal proposal...
He doesn't like it?
It's unclear. He was sort of tenuous about it.
He'll have to like it. And if he doesn't like it, then, they should just keep fighting, I guess.
The suggestion that he made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it, that the U.S. would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some point, he's going to have to accept something. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. Don't forget, I inherited this war. This war never would have happened. I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done too if you had the right president, but you didn't have the right president.
Mr. President, the cost of living is something that you and Mr. Mamdani seem to agree on. Democrats have run New York City for a long time, Mr. Mamdani. Do you see Democrat policy specifically as being a problem? And I'd like that be a question that both of you could answer in New York City.
Look, I think that there are many things in our city where we have to own the responsibility of it, things that existed long before the president was the president. And those are also part of the message of our campaign, was to take on a broken politics of the past. And I ran against a number of candidates who represented different versions of that past. And what we found time and again is that working people were left behind in the politics of our city. And what we're looking to do is put those people right back at the heart of our politics so that we don't have a situation where we're in the wealthiest city in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 5 can't even afford $2.90 for a Metro card.
Mr. President, we had some interesting conversation, and some of his ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. It's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were, we had, both of us, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country the last 4 years under the Biden administration. And we've got inflation down now to a normal number. It's going to go even a little bit lower than that. Katie, do you have something?
Mr. President, thank you so much. Mr. Mamdani often talks about New York City being covered by international law, that they will follow international law. Doesn't often talk about the U.S. Constitution. What is your response to that?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to in terms it can be covered by international law, local law. It's covered by a lot of laws, but it's covered by U.S. law. Are you referring to anything in particular?
He just says that they're a city that endorses and enforces international law. Is that at odds with
No,
U.S.
I don't know. Would you want to respond to
Yeah, I think what I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
We were with ICE.
We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2 children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
Mr. Mamdani,
what we did is we discussed crime more than ICE per se. We discuss crime, and he doesn't want to see crime, and I don't want to see crime. And I have very little doubt that we're not going to get along on that issue. He wants to, and he said some things that were very interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of apartments built, etc. And we actually, people would be shocked, but I want to see the same thing.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters.
Yeah, Mr. President, I wanted to know one of the policies as well that Mayor-elect Mamdani talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the president and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our city.
But to be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear,
what you said.
No, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Please, go ahead.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters just targeted a synagogue in New York. Are you concerned about Jewish New Yorkers feeling welcome and safe in the city? And President Trump, you've threatened to cut off federal funding to New York City. What policies would prompt you to do that? Would that be city-run grocery stores? Would it be something else?
Well, I think if we didn't get along, whether it's cut off or just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much, we want to see, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, subject to what policies are being said. We had a meeting today that actually surprised me. He wants to see no crime. He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with. Now, we may disagree how we get there. The rent coming down, I think one of the things I really gleaned very much today, he'd like to see him come down, ideally, by building a lot of additional housing. Yeah. That's the ultimate way. He agrees with that, and so do I. But if I read the newspapers and the stories, I don't hear that. But I heard him say it today, and I think that's a very positive step. No, I don't expect. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. A big help, because I want New York City to be great. Look, I love New York City. It's where I come from. I spent a lot of years there. Now I'm right here. We took a big setback with the mayor that we had, named de Blasio. I thought it was a tremendous setback for the city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President,
How about you? Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. He may have different views, but in many ways, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea, because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on, tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought. And when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for you, but a very quick one for the mayor. Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I will use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, I know, but if he flew, that's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes and driving takes you a long
Mr.
time.
President, I was wondering if you could clear up some confusion around a Washington Post report. There was this explosive report that the Coast Guard is no longer going to characterize swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. DHS called that a lie and fake news. Can you clear up?
I don't know anything about it. When was this written?
Yesterday.
Well, look, the Coast Guard's an incredible group of people. I know them very well. We just ordered a lot of new Coast Guard cutters. Beautiful, the most magnificent ship. They look like yachts with lots of guns on them. So I don't know. I haven't seen any report like that, but certainly we want them to remain a great force, and they are.
I'm a peacemaker, and you did a peace in all the 9 months around the world. I would like to ask Mr. Mamdani, you've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also the following through on the promises we've made New Yorkers. And I appreciated the meeting we had and the work that we can do.
Do you agree that President Trump did do a peace and he worked hard to make the peace? Because he worked hard to do the peace in the Middle East and everywhere. Do you agree with that?
I appreciate all efforts towards peace, and I shared with President Trump that when I spoke to Trump voters on Hillside Avenue, including one of whom was a pharmacist that spoke about how President Trump's father actually went to that pharmacy not too far from Jamaica Estates, that people were tired of seeing our tax dollars fund endless wars. And I also believe that we have to follow through on the international human rights, and I know that still today those are being violated, and that continues to be work that has to be done no matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President, question for Mr. Thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer's and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused in New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats? I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City, and I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal. Absolutely. I always said, one of the things I would love to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great.
Mr. President, you say you love New York City. Mr. Mamdani, does New York City love President Trump?
New York City loves a future that is affordable. And I can tell you that there were more New Yorkers who voted for President Trump in the most recent presidential election because of that focus on cost of living. And I'm looking forward to working together to deliver on that affordability agenda.
I got a lot of votes. One more. Go ahead. 1 or 2 more. Go ahead. I tell you, the press has eaten this thing up. I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of major countries. Nobody cared. This meeting that you people have gone crazy. Outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group. For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, I was going to ask you exactly that. Why do you think there's so much more, so much excitement around this than even some foreign leaders?
Because I think he's different. All right, I think he's different, and that can be in a very positive way. But I think he's different than, your typical guy runs, wins, becomes mayor maybe, and nothing exciting. Because he has a chance to really do something great for New York. New York is at a very critical point. And he does need the help of the federal government to really succeed, and we're going to be helping him. But he's different than, your average candidate. He came out of nowhere. I said he has a great campaign manager standing over there. He came out of nowhere. What'd you start off at 1 or 2? And then I watched. I said, who is this guy? He was at 1. then he was at 3, then he was at 5, then he was at 9, and he went up to 17. I said, that's getting a little bit interesting, right?
17.
And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
And I'll just add one thing to what the president said. Is one thing I also appreciated is in our meeting to appreciate a portrait of FDR and the incredible work that was done with the New Deal, and also in thinking about what it can look like when the federal government and New York City government work together to deliver on affordability. It can be transformative.
You know, we have a great portrait of FDR that I found in the vaults that was missing for years. I found it and I put it up. He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat. And when the mayor saw that portrait, he said, "Sir, do you mind if I have a picture taken by that portrait?" It's an amazing portrait. I hope the picture comes out good. But it's an amazing portrait in the cabinet room. So he's a big fan of the New Deal, I guess, and of FDR. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said that you both spoke about crime. There are many police officers set to come off the rolls at the end of this year in New York City. Are you going to allow those police to be replaced with police officers, actual cops? Are you going to require that happens? Would there be some consequence if the
Well, I hope
staff?
it happens, but again, that's going to be ultimately the mayor's decision.
What's your answer?
Is that I look forward to delivering public safety with the NYPD, and I've said over the course of our campaign that we have the number of police officers today. They are the ones that's budgeted about 35,000 headcount. And I think the key thing is that we have to make it easier for police to focus on police work, not ask them to respond to 200,000 mental health calls a year.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level of cops?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the headcount that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social workers?
No, I've said that's the headcount that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. Commissioner Tesh.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
Mr. President, are there still topics that you see the two of you disagreeing on in the future? And do you think you'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we disagree on. I think we'll probably come to a conclusion, and ultimately, he'll convince me, or I'll convince him. You know, it's for the good of New York. Ultimately, it's for the good of New York. I don't care about affiliations or parties or anything else. I want to see if this city could be unbelievable, if he could be a spectacular success, I'd be very happy.
Do you think you guys will meet more in the future too?
Sure.
Do you think you'll meet again in the future, throughout the administration?
I think we will. I think we will. I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't, but she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
She's a very capable person.
Isn't
But
that a kind of label?
you really have to ask her about that. But no, I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again. And I can say again, because New York was great. You know, when I came down to Washington initially, the city was so hot. It was doing great. We were having some telltale signs and problems. We had a mayor that was not doing a great job, but still, it was moving along. And it went bad. It really went, pretty bad. And I think it's been at lower points, but it went pretty bad. I think he can bring it back. Now, the question is, will he bring it back all the way? Will he bring it back greater than ever before, which is, I guarantee, that's his wish. I think he wants to make it greater than ever before. And if he can, we'll be out there cheering. I'll be cheering for him. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
I care very deeply about Jewish safety, and I look forward to rooting out anti-Semitism across the 5 boroughs and protecting Jewish New Yorkers and every New Yorker who calls City Hall.
Thank you, Press. Keep moving, guys.
So he let the snake in. Remember Trump's poem? That's almost like the snake, isn't it, Shady Grove? And he's being very calm and respectful, and that's what you should expect when you want to try to control this guy, Shady Grove. It's all about the control.
Well, it's also about the country. and it's also about agreement, and it's also about getting along with people, and it's also about actually looking out for and doing what is in the best interest of the people that you represent. That's what politics is supposed to be about. And it becomes about like who can be the biggest liar first, which is the opposite of what it's supposed to be. I want you to see there that what we had is an amazing display of what it is that you should be seeing from anybody that you consider a politician. A politician is not a person who goes out and explains to you how wrong everybody else is. A politician is someone who comes to you and explains how we agree in certain areas and how that we can make things better. That's what you're supposed to do. The people that are race baiters out there will do nothing but focus on nonsensical race issues, like you saw a number of the reporters, including your friend and complete moron reporter Jack Posobiec, focusing on. He's now taken up the cause of Derek Chauvin, by the way. And I just want you to understand that these people are doing these racist-oriented things, these race-baiting things, because what they want for you and I to tear each other's throats out. They want for you and I to disagree so vehemently that we can never, ever get to the conversation about what we agree with or we agree on, because we didn't have the conversation of what it is that we agree on before we had the conversation about what it is that we disagree about. That's the problem with America. Whenever the two of us were young, people would talk about the things that they agreed about before they would get cantankerous and argue with one another about what they disagreed over.
That's right. That's right. And I just want to play the Snake poem by Donald J. Trump. Check this one out.
Oh, that means you're going to miss your dinner, but I have a feeling you like this better. Do you like this? Should I do the snake? Should I? The snake, you know, it's about 100 degrees out, so if we're outside, you'd say, no, please don't do the snake. But it's great. This was a great song written a long time ago, and we sort of recast it, but it's true. And it has to do with terrorism. We're allowing people to come in. They're going to destroy our country. We have to get them out. We have to take them out. So this has to do with the fact that people are coming into our country through our borders. Very sad and very terrible thing is happening, and many of these people are very bad. On her work, and this is, who's heard this, by the way, just before? Who's heard this?
Press 47 if you guys have heard it.
It's amazing how few, because they do it, but I think it's pretty terrific. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Her pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. That's the end. That's the end. The snake. And that's what we're doing. We're taking in people that are very, very dangerous people. We're allowing them to come in, and they're being sent in here by the millions and millions and millions. Following the Eisenhower...
So I just wanted to play that one more time because it's what we're doing. I mean, this is about illegal immigration, the criminals, the people that are, Venezuelan prisons were emptied into the United States, guys. It's crazy, Shady.
Are Venezuelan drug boats the snake?
They could be the snake, Shady.
Yeah, so you want to you talk about what the snake is? A bunch of CIA clowns running around jerking each other, saying, "Oh, well, we're going to not don't obey illegal orders." Guess what? It wasn't an illegal order. That makes what you just said sedition. You numbnut. These people are retarded. They literally do not have a brain cell amongst them. It's like, if you were to like wiggle their heads like this, it would sound like ding, 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 the little BBs bouncing around in there. There's nothing in there. They have no clue what they've done. They have no clue what they've set in motion. And all we had to do was give them the bait, Jeff. All we had to do was put it out in front of the door. You know what we did? Well, we the UPS package came, and we took the stuff that we bought out of the UPS package, and then we put in like we put in like a tracking device in there, and then we set it out on the front porch, and we let them come take it, and we follow them to wherever they go. This happens over and over and over again. It's like, the Roadrunner and the Coyote, Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. Like if nobody can see
the cat and the laser pointer.
Laser pointer. I mean, it's unbelievable what we've been able to see. And now we're getting ready to have the what I think, Jeff, is the final act, which is the laser pointer pointing at the corrupt military.
Yeah, I wanted to real quick play this because it goes in with the people taking in the snake, Shady Groove. This is a tender woman. Ready? Check it out.
Why are you being arrested?
I'm being arrested for peacefully protesting the horrible treatment of human beings by ICE agents.
It's called obstruction of justice.
These people are being treated horribly. They're human beings, and it's not.
I know why I was made. I am not
I'm arrested because I'm fighting for immigrants and families that deserve to be safe. No one deserves to not come home from a day of work, from a day of school, from a day of just living their lives. This is not the America we deserve. We deserve freedom, safety, and communities that are protected.
Why are you being arrested?
Wow, you're not being arrested. You're being arrested for obstruction of justice.
they think they're so virtuous.
Yeah.
They literally think that they are like Paul Revere or something. Like, I swear to you, that's like, I don't know where they get this stuff from, but it has to do, again, we were talking about the MK Ultra, and we're talking about like, the way that they are throwing both sides at you and claiming both sides, claiming the higher moral ground on both sides. Well, the left has done that to them too. And I mean, we have to have a little bit of understanding that these people, they are you noticing that they react the exact same way about trans or climate or immigration? You don't really see them act like that about any other topics, because these are the three topics that Donald Trump is referencing whenever he talks about the snake and the infiltration and the communists. Like we said, the communists think that they are going to beat us. And Donald Trump is just like reeling them in and squeezing them like grape.
He's like taking their fangs and getting the venom out. Oh, wait.
Literally, no, that's a good analogy. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because there is a cure. And by the way, that song was also written about anti-communism as well, just so you know.
The snake poem. Yes.
Yeah, the snake poem.
Well, I think our audience actually already knows that, and I bet they already made that connection. The reason why you were bringing that topic up, sir.
That's right. And I want you guys to just, stay tuned, guys. All right. That was a great meeting with an enemy in the Oval Office, guys. That's how he is with foreign leaders that don't think the same way. I mean, I think he held himself with great honor, Shady Groove, and he's in control. You can totally tell. Tell.
How did we do? Did we do a good show today?
I don't know.
You don't know? I'm not sure either. I'm not sure.
Ask him.
How did we do today? We are fishing for compliments.
Yes.
My God, can we get a compliment up in here? What did we do for the last 8 years?
Come on.
Yeah, thank you, Yeti.
Yeti.
Well, I apologize for that.
Very inappropriate. Yes,
we're
going to have to maintain.
Thank you. And tomorrow, Shady is going to do a premium for us.
I'm gonna dig into some stuff after Jeff has to run real quick.
Yep. Shady's going to get into
my favorite topic: Alex Jones numbnuts.
Oh boy. And we're going to go out with C. Page, Shady Groove. God bless you all. It's Monday. Have a great Monday. We love you guys very much. Stay strong and think for yourself. The truth is learned, never told. We love you guys.
These guys already crossed the finish line. They didn't even notice it happened.
They didn't know.
It happened before we even started, by the way.
Share the show. Make sure to go over to youtube.com/inthematrix with 3 X's. Get over there and like that show over there. Thank you guys for joining YouTube over there. Thank you, Rumble, rumble.com/MG show. We got x.com/inthematrix, 3 X's or 3 O's for Shady Groove, or Jeff Facebook, mgshow.link/Jeff, Jeff, FB. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Much love.
Thank you, Rev Rob. Thank you, guys.
Ah! What is that?
I trusted your voice, a patriot's call. You built us a fire, but it burned us all. Whispers of treason in the midnight air. Your network of lies, I can't help but stare. Polarized hearts, we're torn apart. Dehumanized scars, you played your part. In the 5th generation haze, you led us through a darkened maze. Flynn, your shadow casts a chill, a soldier's mask, but intent to kill. J6 echoes the state charade. You pulled the strings, the plans were laid. Christian banner is a war cry sung, but your Gideon 300 left us undone. Tribalized minds, we lost our way. Killing inside, we're your prey. In the 5th generation haze, you led us through a darkened maze. Flame, you shadow cast a chill, a soldier's mask, but intent to kill. Psyops and secrets, a game so cold. You name inside, we're your prey. In the 5th generation haze, you led us through a darkened maze. Flynn, you shadow cast a chill, a soldier's mask, but intent to kill. Psyops and secrets, a game so cold. You sold us out for power untold. From Fort Bragg to the Capitol's fall, your military games, they broke us all. Now I scream in the silence you made, a patriot dream forever betrayed. Forever betrayed. Flinium, in the ashes will fade. In this war of perception, lum unmade.
Yeah. Thank you, C. Page. Rebel Valkyrie 17 on X. God bless you all. Where we go, one we go all. www.mg.show. Boom.